Yeah.
Look at that smiley face.
If we can go live. Oh, I think we are. Good morning, everyone. We are live this beautiful, happy Friday, everyone. I am your host, Barbie Ladavisi, with Mr. Nigel Smart, who is about to launch.
Morning, everybody.
Shortly. Good morning. So,
How are you?
how was your evening, Nigel? I'm
Busy.
great, thank you. Busy. I know it's
Busy.
I am so thrilled that
Busy
today
time.
is Friday. Pardon?
Very, very busy every day right now. Lots going on. Have to be focused.
Yes, but you know what? We have to take some time and have reverence for our lives, because it can't just all be hustle, 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 hustle. I know there's a lot of balls up in the air. Good morning. If you're tuning in, let us know where you are connecting from. We always love to see everyone. Oh, mwah, sending everyone love. I am so grateful that you're here. We were just talking about having reverence for life. You know, sometimes some of us, wow, you know, we may have an accident that propels us to different thinking. You know, today's topic is know your direction. And oftentimes, things that come up in our lives have a tendency to change us altogether. You know, I was thinking about this topic, my friend Nigel, and so many thoughts crossed my mind.
Why is that?
Because I mean, there's so many shifts that we have in our lives, you know, so many encounters that we have to tell ourselves we've got to pivot a certain direction when things don't go our way, right? And I was trying to reflect, you know, we have different perspective, and that's the beauty to this show. You know, it's going back to what I was going to tell you this morning. I was thinking about who we are as spirit souls. You know, we come into this life with this spirit that's unique, very different from others, and we come together, and some people like us, some people don't like us. And you know, we're set with this spirit that tells us, manifests within us what we're going to do, which direction we're going to go. I was thinking, when I was a little girl, I remember being in my room. You know, as children, we have this vision of ourselves that we're going to be a doctor, that we're going to be a vet, that we're going to be a teacher, that we're going to be a policeman, that we're going to be a detective. You know, all these things just kind of come into our lives, and we start practicing them. And then we discover as we get older that we're not really meant for that. However, our experiences kind of pivot our lives when we change our perspective based on those experiences, whether they were good or bad, and we reinvent ourselves. And so I was thinking about that, and I wanted to ask you, given that our topic today is know your direction, you know, we have had, this week has been the foundation for change. And we've talked about mastering our morning, you know, our daily habits, staying away from the news, you know, that just really doesn't empower us. When to say no to things that really don't serve us. We talked about flipping our fears. We talked about being kind, you know, juggling all these things. And the company that we keep, we talked about that yesterday. And today, you know, it's how do we know our direction? And I wanted to get your feedback on that specific topic. Mr.
Do you
Nigel?
think it's just when you think it occurs just when you're a child, or whether that's an evolutionary thing? Because I know for me, I'll share with you the 4 things that I wanted maybe to happen in my life, and they've changed.
Morning. Tell us where you're coming from.
It's kind of interesting. I think the most fundamental thing is is you need to figure out what it is you want out of life before you can figure out your direction. You're endowed with certain inalienable talents, so so our constitution says. So there are things that we just have some natural abilities for, and you may want to follow those, but maybe you just, like some people are just a natural at many things, or they're just, they're maybe a great basketball player, but they still want to be a doctor, or they still want to be in business. And so I think it's important to try to understand and let yourself develop, let those talents come out. But then at some point you want to say, okay, what do I really want out of life? What is it, what do I desire? And then what are the things that I might be able to do with my life that kind of are going to fulfill me in that way? And I think in the past, we've chased after possessions, money particularly. It's a necessity in a modern world, so you can't ignore it. But I think one of the things that we've forgotten about, and I think we've talked about this in a roundabout way all week, is we haven't chased fulfillment. And how do people get fulfilled? Fulfillment is achieved in a lot of different ways. You can be fulfilled in building a family. You can be fulfilled in your career. But the wider topic that you and I have talked about many times is, how do you become fulfilled in terms of your happiness? What makes you happy? The happiness comes from within, but then there are things that affect how that happiness develops. And that can be career, that can be family, that can be, your romantic relationship with that special person. And I think so it's good, what I like to do is to periodically, every year in fact, and even within each quarter within a year, is to look at, if you like, my core things, my health, my career, my financial, my family, romantic relationships, and the things I do. You might call them charity, philanthropic, or service things, because I think that's a big piece of something that I want in my life, because it balances you out and stops you thinking necessarily about just you. I look at those and say, how am I doing? Am I focusing on one thing relevant to the other? It's difficult because we're juggling all those things, because, as you know, for a while we'll get focused on our career, then we'll get focused on our health, and so we're bouncing back and forwards, and we need to try and get everything in balance, because you tend to get really good at what you focus on. So we've got to train ourselves a little bit to be able to focus on multiple things at the same time, and that's where the balance of life comes in. That's where you feel fulfilled, and that's where you feel happiest. And I think that's what we're all searching for, if we're to be honest. So that's how I would start to answer that.
I agree with much of what you say. And to me, to mirror what you're saying, there's an added element to it. You're talking about music, how it lifts your spirits, how you're able to motivate yourself to go to the next direction. A lot helps us to get to that direction that we're going through our daily habits. We talked about this week in very small.
Yes.
Every day we practice something different, something that helps us catapult us to where we want to go ultimately.
Yes.
But I want to add a different element to that, and that is our diet. Some of us have a direction that we want to lose, particularly now. We're coming up to the very end of January now. Can you believe it? That's insane. We're going to February.
And I bet you
many of us,
99%, I bet you 99% of people, Barbie, broke their New Year's resolutions in the first week. And now it's like, panic, panic, panic. How am I going to drop 20 pounds? Oh, I'll hit a diet program. And we all know none of the diets work, because you're not in control.
Exactly where I was leading to. And not only that, but you have to, in order for you to have clarity of mind, to be able to know your direction, because to me, clarity is so important if you know where you ultimately want to go, where your vision is, you can get there. You can physically manifest it. I, again, go to this book that never in a million years had I thought that I would ever, I don't even know the first thing about writing a book. I decided, based on all this inspiration that came to me, you know, there's so many people out there that don't know how to go through the process. Well, I don't specifically talk about it in the book. However, I do talk about the mindset. The mindset is so critical at the very beginning. And how do we do that?
Yes.
Not only by the people that we surround ourselves, eliminating all the negativity, but our diet and our sleep. If we stop and think about that, that is so critical. It takes us 3 days. If we lose sleep one day, we can kind of make it up the next day, but by the third day, we are like dragging.
I
So,
think
you know, diet.
you must have been
Oh,
reading my
really?
thoughts this morning. I think you must have been reading my thoughts this morning because I was up late last night. No, and I think you were channeling me again because I had that very feeling this morning. I thought I'm 2 hours short. Why am I dragging a little bit? Well, Nigel, you know, you were up late and then you couldn't sleep, and so there was another hour sort of coming down. I think though, what you're describing about your book, if I may be so bold, is to say, yes, you know, you didn't know how to write a book. Yes, you didn't know how to, but that's almost like a metaphor for your life. You don't know how to organize your life. We don't, you know, people in general don't know how to organize their life. You had to put in place, I'm sure I know you have, you've put a process in place to write your book.
No, no,
And it's no different for life.
I,
So I'm just echoing what you're saying.
we don't know what we don't know. The reality is we don't know what we don't
That's
know
true.
until we actually set forth the effort to go there. You know, just
Yes,
we don't know what to expect in the courtroom until we're physically there, living it, walking it, experiencing. We don't know what it's like to go through a divorce until we've walked it. We depend on someone to guide us. You know,
right.
I experienced this.
You're a guide.
So it's really interesting. I wisened up at the last minute, you know, and I said, no, I can do this. And the same applies to each and every one of us. We can achieve
Right.
anything imaginable as long as we have a vision. I have what many people refer to as a vision board or like a battle board.
Yes, you have those.
And I have it, it's right here, it's lined up, and I do it Monday through Sunday. That I start my week as Monday is my very first start of the week. Typically, if everybody's is Sundays, but I have it right here, and I know what I need to tackle. And always, for whatever reason, there's something that kind of creeps in that needs to be added to the board. And you know, it is what it is, but we have to really focus on our mindset and our diet, because our diet plays such a significant role, particularly during these COVID times. Sometimes people want to just have a drink to unwind after it's just been such a stressful day with kids in the house, everything going on. And really, maybe we should reserve that for the weekend. You know, right? It probably be, I don't personally drink, but you know, maybe we could reserve it for then. That way we are, by Sunday, we're already planning our week ahead. But I find it really beautiful how children, they're so vulnerable and they automatically have this vision that they're going to do something. We as adults, even when we go to school, I remember switching my degree 3 times. You know, I wanted to first be pre-med, then I went to being a teacher, because really I love teaching, inspiring, you know, igniting people. And I found it that it wasn't really going to be something that I really wanted to do, although it's kind of like what I still kind of do. I decided to do communications, you know, and I found a total different world there, and in a production sense. And it's just, we never know where our experiences will lead us. We have so many vast ideas or understandings of what we want to be, but it's not until we get there that we really decide, is this for me and for the overall best of my health, my future, my family, and so forth. So I thought this was kind of interesting. It kind of helped spark different thoughts within me.
So when you put aside all the sensible things, what were the really crazy things that you thought about?
Mhm.
Because I had my two sort of sensible things, and then I had my crazy things, and I'll share those with you when you confess first.
Crazy things.
Yeah,
Oh, I love water sports. I love winter
you do.
sports, as well. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And, I am so driven, and sometimes I'll go out there and think I'm Evel Knievel and do things.
Oh,
But
really?
you have to kind of push yourself to discover whether you can or not. And the beauty is that once you're there, you're living in the moment, the adrenaline kicks in. I'm like, I can do this.
Hmm.
And lo and behold, I surprise myself. And it's okay to venture off and do things, it's okay. What about you, Nigel?
Well, I had four things I thought about doing. I mean, there was two crazy things, and then there was the sensible things, I suppose. And the sensible things was I've always loved science, and I wanted to pursue a medical career, not unlike yourself. And but the thing I wanted to be, and I still think that it would have been something that I would have been really good at, would have been a surgeon. I didn't want to just be a doctor. I wanted to be a surgeon. But I ended up in science with a science degree. And one of the things I loved was I was just a very curious person. And so I got into designing new drugs and biological systems and diseases, just at a time when the new genetic engineering and all the rest of it got started. And I was fascinated by that. And so that took me on my career. And it's a journey that has served me well. I've loved it. I've got friends around the world. I've been to conferences. I've been
That's
consultant all over the
beautiful.
world doing work and things. And I'm so blessed on that. Now, the crazy things, I'm mad about football, soccer, and my football team is right at the top right now. I watched them last night. I told you on text last night. Liverpool, and Liverpool's the home of the Beatles, and I want to play for Liverpool. Like all my sons want to play for Liverpool. If you see us all, they're all in red shirts. They're all screaming. I have two boys in London, and they're texting me when the games are on, and I'm texting them from here. And I have two boys here in town, and they're texting me. Actually, my youngest was round watching last night with me, the goals. So that was the other thing. But I've always loved music. My father was a professional jazz musician,
Oh, I didn't
part-time.
know that.
And yeah, I have my father's piano here I brought from the UK with me. It's an upright grand, and it brings back a lot of memories about my father, who I adored. I had total respect for him. My dad was quite a character, and but I learned to play guitar, like classical guitar, which I haven't played much for years. It's something I promised myself I would do again this year. But I love to sing, and my mother was something of a singer,
I want you to,
and we've always
I
had a
want you to
musical family. I wanted to be, I mean, my idols were Paul McCartney and John Lennon. I was called Paul from the age of 9, and I still get it because of a somewhat similarity. But Mick Jagger was always the one that I admired because he was outrageous. So I wanted to be the lead singer in a rock and roll band. And, I loved joining in with songs when I put the music up in my kitchen, and I'll pick up. What's interesting is my daughter, my younger daughter, Haley. She's quite a performer, I think she will do maybe something in performing arts when she grows up a little bit more, because she's a dancer and a singer. And I think, yeah, I think she gets that from me because her mother's got 2 left feet. So, you know.
So
But that's my.
this about you. I didn't know any of this
Huh?
about you. This is great. You have to sing for us at some point, or play the piano for us. But you know, I want to give inspiration to our viewers, you know, because that's really what we're here. We discover ourselves just like Nigel and like I've done, and I am just I want to challenge each and every one. And by the way, if you're still here with us, thank you so much. I hope that we can spark interest in you, and please don't hesitate to leave us a comment. I want to know who is tuning in, because from you we get to learn of some of the things that you wish to know about us, or perhaps something that we can inspire you. I'm always looking for content to create for you.
Mhm.
And I truly feel that we need this. We need this connection. I know today is Friday. I am thrilled it is Friday. We have next week. In fact, we are going to. It's going to be, what is it? Oh, I'm forgetting here. Oh, it's going to be mastering your mindset. So it's like mastering. This week was mastering your morning. Next week, because today we're wrapping up to the 7th day, we are going on tomorrow, we are going to talk about mastering confidence. I love that, because we sometimes second guess ourselves, don't we? And little do we know and surprise ourselves that when we take those little baby steps, we kind of discover that we can do it. You know, just recently I decided to do something rather big that I have never done before. I haven't shared it with anyone. I kind of shared it with you yesterday, Nigel, and I'm still formulating how I'm going to deliver that. Am I scared? Positively scared. Am I going to pull it off? I think so. I think so. So the same applies to you in your life. You know, if you find yourself that you're unemployed and you need a little nudge, think about the things that you want to, what you love, what your passion is, and reinvent it. Whatever, you know, we have access through Facebook, through Instagram, to go live like we're doing, and reinventing the wheel and doing something new. You can get creative. There's so much out there. Look at YouTube. Do whatever it takes to master your craft, because there's so much beauty in each and every one of you. You are born with your own individual souls, whatever you want, spirit. And that spirit is really in you. And you have a desire, just like Nigel, you know, with the piano, with race cars. He wanted to be a surgeon. He turned out to do something within that realm. I did fashion work, you know, and somehow it ended up putting me in production. And look at me, I'm doing this. I'm reinventing the wheel. And it really went back to my teaching, where when I was a little girl sitting there making believe that I was a teacher, modeling after my teachers, I thought that that was just the cutest thing. In a roundabout way, I needed those experiences to help me where I am today. So don't get down on the experiences that you have now, because the reality is it's going to take you where you least expect it, and you're going to discover yourself in a way that you never even imagined would even come to fruition. So that's really my message today. You know, it's know your direction, write it down, kind of like what I do. I mean, that's all we can do. And then when we are living it in the moment, new ideas will come, and you will just find yourself, wow, and then you actually do what you set out to do, which is the beauty. And that is what gives you the inspiration, the motivation to do something additional. And I think that is just marvelous. Don't you think, Nigel?
I do. And I think what we should point out is we should point out that we're here to help. We're here to show you. We can guide you. We're experts at this. We're experts at figuring out these things and listening to people and asking the right questions so that they can help define and discover what it is they're good at or what it is they want to do. And then if they want to build a plan, if they want to have help with that we can sort that out with them. We'd love to do that. We'd love to be able to be not the spirit guide, but the life guide that will help them get on track. And I think that's really, really important to say that. An opportunity. We're not just faces on a screen here, but there's substance, I think, behind the things that we're hopefully setting a few fireworks off in people's heads that that's gonna wake them up and say, hey, you know, I can do this too. I just need a prompt. I just need a little bit of guidance.
Tomorrow we are live again. We got to hop on. We're now past a little bit of our time, and we just want to we want to share with you that we really, really, really care. And if there's anything that resonates with either of us, you know how to reach us through PM messaging. And you can also find us in the Mr. and Mrs. X. I have got to be active and work on that one. That's one that I've had so many projects going on and taking care, being a mother, and the move. Boy, it's been an interesting January, and I cannot believe where January went. And I sure hope that February slows down. But yes, join us here tomorrow morning, Saturday, at 9 a.m. Barbie and Nigel will be here to help you inspire and ignite the best in you. And wishing everyone a lovely, beautiful Friday, leading into a gorgeous Saturday and Sunday. You know, it's been raining here, pouring. Hopefully it's not that way in your neck of the woods. But until then, sending you guys lots of love. Thank you for tuning in, and let us know in the chat where you tuning in.
What's going on?
Yeah, and what your thoughts are. If you get a moment to view a little bit of this, I've allowed for the bar for you to fast forward to see things that maybe to help. You know, we're limited in time sometimes as to what we can see, and please feel free to reach out to us. We are here to help and love and give you some direction. Until then, see you on the bright side. See you soon. Bye, Nigel. Good night, everyone, wherever you are in the evening. Take care.